Aloha everyone, my name is Alessandro and this is the Temple of Surf, the podcast. We'll give you full access to the best surfers, skaters, shapers, surfboard collectors, shop owners in the world. Discover with me their stories, the greater successes, amazing behind the scenes, and much more. Aloha! Welcome to the 24th episode of the Temple of Surf, the podcast. Live with us from California is surfer, paramedic, and comedian Jonathan Freeman. We discuss with him about surf and many other things. It was so much fun. Hi, Jonathan. Welcome to the show. Where are you today?
I am in San Diego County in Southern California.
How is it going over there? Surf is good. How's the situation?
It's beautiful. If you have a longboard right now, you'd be happy. There's no wind. The sky is blue. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's probably 72 degrees right now. Wow. I feel bad for our friends in Texas, though, saying that because they just went through some really harsh weather.
Yeah, I heard snowing and super weird. I mean, my God. Anyway. Yeah. Sunny California, it's always good, right? So thanks a lot for being on the show. Today we're going to talk about many things and we're going to talk your way. So different episodes than the usual ones. But the first question I think is common to everybody. In your opinion, what is the most important thing in surf?
Respect.
Okay.
Respect for other people around you. It's a inherently selfish sport. It's all about getting that feeling over and over again and getting stoked on a good wave. So you want to catch as many waves as you can. But what that leads to is a lot of people butting heads. So being respectful of other people and their time, you never know what they're going through in their life. They may need those waves more than you do. So try to mellow out. And wherever you go in the world, if you're just respectful, you'll be amazed at the people that will reach out to you. It'll open up so many doors to get invited to dinners, to meals, to meeting people's families. Just be respectful, whatever ability you're at. Even if you're the sickest surfer ever, if you're still respectful, you'll be a king or queen wherever you go.
I agree with you, and that applies to life as well.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Today we're living in a world where respectful is not respected as a word, right? And I think we would need more than that to live all better together. Anyway, I agree with you. It was kind of an unusual answer, I get a lot of answer it's fun, it's nature, whatever. But I get your point. Surfboards. So let's talk about surfboards. You have quite some today. I was following in the Instagram, you have maybe around 10, 15 in your collection right now.
I do, yes.
was the first surfboard, the proper one, and do you still have it?
I do not have my very first surfboard, and it's actually recently there's been a lot of talk amongst my circle of friends about my first surfboard because the guy who gave it to me says that he did not give it to me to keep. I was supposed to give it back to him. Yeah. And it was a short board by a shaper named Cooney, Kunny, out of, I believe, Newport Beach or Costa Mesa area. And it was a full 80 shortboard, flat, fast, super sick. And I learned on that thing. And I think I sold it to somebody, or I may have broke it and just never told this guy. And now 20 years later, he's after me. So that's my first board.
That's a cool story, but definitely, but it kind of woke up very late, 20 years after, you cannot say that board, right? So there is no right on that. Cool. And when was that like?
So I played traditional sports, and when you grow up in Southern California, surfers are the coolest. They live on the coast. I didn't quite live on the coast. I lived maybe 25 minutes from the water, right? Up the freeway. So they considered us inlanders. So I would just boogie board, and we had friends that surfed, but it never dawned on me to try to ask somebody to teach me. And then I specifically, going into the 7th grade, being about to turn 13, I'm like, I am going to be a surfer. They're the coolest. I want to wear the clothes. I thought they got all the girls. I want to meet girls. I want to be at the beach all the time. And so I learned on what we called a soft top, like now that you would say wave storms. These were called Doyles, because I think maybe Mike Doyle made these soft surfboards, and all the junior lifeguards would use them. So I learned on that, totally addicted. And summer leaving 8th grade, so I was almost 15 years old, is when I fully committed to surfing. But I still kind of like played a little football, and then made a decision by the time I was almost 16. I'm in on surf forever.
Yeah, definitely. And did you get all the girls that you wanted, or that was just like a kind of dream?
I'm sitting here right now on the Temple of Surf podcast, and that means all of my dreams came true. Surfing, I have everything to thank. Everything is to thank for surfing, like who I married, what I do now, how I make money, what makes me happy, what brings me joy in life. Like, it's been there. It's this constant thread that runs through my life. Surfing's one of the best things I ever took up.
Amazing. Let's talk about surfers in Instagram. Do you think they take themselves too seriously?
The ones that do are definitely the funniest. Those are my favorite accounts to follow, is a surfer who's just like posing, or he's with this chick a lot. And there's just a lot of staged situational like videos that they make. And you can tell, because they're not that great at selling what they're doing, that it's fake. So, but God bless them for trying. You just, whatever the market demands, there's a market for that. There's teenage girls that love to just look at a dude holding a surfboard, and those people have 2 million followers, and good for them. Whatever.
It's a different kind of industry, right? And
I have no idea what's happening. All I know is, once again, the Instagram led me to the Temple of Surf podcast, and that's all right with this guy. That's the best thing that's happened. That's all I'm saying.
Definitely. I don't know if it's the best thing that happened, but I don't thank you for saying that. Cool. So let's talk about comedy, because you have always like a good spirit and a smile, and you take even certain subjects that are like really, really like odd and painful. You just say it with a smile, and it's so amazing to follow you. If I have to ask you the same question that I asked you at the beginning, what was the most important thing in surfing? What is the most important thing in comedy, if you want to call it this way?
I think the most important thing in comedy is just realizing that you could die at any moment. And so you're going to say things that need to be said in a way that people find humorous. And it needs to be done because this life is too short. And I also think like, maybe you're inclined that way. Like, I feel like I was wired for comedy. I'm the youngest. I'm the only boy. I have 2 older sisters. And like my whole life, like I just was like, I want to get on stage. I want to make people laugh. I want to make people smile, because that made me feel good. So if you feel inclined towards that, and then you combine it with a sense of like life is short, you'll just care less about what people think, and your self-confidence will go up, and you can just do the things you want. If people don't like it, who cares? You'll find people that dig what you're doing, You
cannot be liked by everybody or like.
No, and and you actually need people to not like you. That's actually what I'm figuring out now. I'm like, oh, wow, that's a sign that you're doing something. You're doing something,
If you say that detractors or people that do not like you help you to get better, or it's just like, and so your popularity increase, and definitely nobody is 100% liked by everybody. So that makes sense.
And you know what? With comedy, it should never be like everybody should like one thing, because it's subjective, like music. Some people love just horrible, like techno, and they'll play it in the middle of the day in their car. And you're like, what's going on with that person? But that's their jam. I don't like that. I think it's ridiculous. But that person's having a spiritual experience listening to some Euro DJ trash. It's amazing.
It's like live and let live, right? In a sort.
Right.
So far, I've done like so many funny videos and fun videos. And they're very like they put a smile at least on my face and a lot of other people. Is that a particular one that you had particular fun yourself to make?
Yeah, they're never the ones that do very well are the ones I like. And then probably because they're just personal and I kind of have a funky sense of humor. I'm trying to think which one I've done that. I know my wife has told me at least like 5 times. She's like, you need to take that down now. Like I just said or did something that was so weird. Yeah, I there's a bunch of them, man. They're never the ones that do well, but I guess my favorite is it actually did pretty well. I was out in the water. There's 2. I was out in the water and I pretended that I was a dude who was in the water and a dolphin came up and like hit his board and he thought it was a shark. And he like freaked out and he starts punching whatever's there and it's a bottlenose dolphin and he's just like slugging it in the face. And then he realizes on like the 3rd punch that it's a dolphin. And he's like crying in the back of his van after surfing and he has his surf hat on and his wetsuit. And he's talking about like, at first you think it's a shark attack and then he switches to like, but then I saw it was a dolphin and he's apologizing. And then he's doing the language the dolphin was talking to him in because the dolphin was like kind of crying and he's like, like doing like weird sounds.
Yeah.
So I like that one. That got on Kook of the Day. That was funny. And then the other one was surfing and there's a girl out. She's not a girl. She's like an older woman and she's in a thong. She's in a G-string surfing and I see her butthole and I'm like really upset in the parking lot again and like kind of crying because nobody should have to see that when they go surfing. Yeah.
Definitely. Oh my God, those are like definitely 2 fun moments. Let's talk about some hot topics your way. Okay, so I just select 4 of them. The first one, I just saw a video recently of you talking about the value of a used surfboard.
Yes, it may be personal to you how much that board is worth, and you paid a lot for it. But they're like when you buy a new car in the United States, the second you drive it off the lot, it depreciates in value like 30%. It's just the fact. You rode it. You can't ride a board without putting a heel dent in it, doing something to it. And then you get these guys that have boards that they have dings that aren't even repaired correctly and they want $400 American dollars for this board. And you go, no, I'll give you $250. And they're like, oh, that's insulting. And then they call you 3 weeks later when it's not selling. And they're like, I'll take $250.
And then it's like a right moment to offer less in that sense.
It's true. Oh, and then go $50 less, then say 200. They love that. That really goes well when you do that.
It's amazing, like what is out there. Just like people they have their own idea about what a surfboard is worth, and then that not definitely is not the market price. So
true. In rare cases, there are times when people get a board as a gift and they hold it and they know right away it's too small or too big for them. Then it's worth the money. And they'll usually give you like $100 off what you would pay in a store, or they'll take the tax off. And that's a brand new board. So it's worth what it's worth. It hasn't been ridden.
Okay. Then next topic. Again, the first thing that comes out to your mind, hand-shaped surfboard versus like machine made.
I've seen the machine's shape and I've watched it and I've ridden lots of hand shapes and I love both. This is such a nerd way to answer. Man, like I'm so glad hand shaping still exists and there's guys that can do everything from start to finish. And then some guys are hand shapers and they just get really popular and then they need a machine to assist them because the demand is there for their boards. And I love them both. I can't say where I fall. I ride them both. I'll ride everything. I'll try everything. And I still don't know what goes into a magic board because you get very few of them. And when you get them, you just keep riding them.
until you snap them or whatever. Or they get sold by one of your friends without you.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, the cootie, not the cootie. Why did you sell it?
Okay. In your opinion, are this thing in competitive surfing? What's out there?
The hardest thing for a pro surfer right now is figuring out the surf landscape. Because for years and years to be a pro surfer, I mean, it was simple. You went on surf trips, you got clip, not simple, but you went on surf trips, you got clips, everything was taken care of, your airfare, you were making good money. And if someone was wearing a surf shirt, that was sick, that was cool. But now with the industry changing and brands going away, I would think the hardest thing for a pro surfer would be to restart their career, basically on social media, which we've seen a lot do successfully. And I hope there's a lot more. I hope a lot of the guests that you've had on your show, I hope they go onto social media and start using it, because that's how people are getting information now. And that's how you'll pass on your legacy and story to other people. I mean, and there's an audience for it. So that's what I think about that.
Definitely. Yesterday I was talking with Alex Gray, and
yep.
He's using his followers in this way to promote surf therapy, to promote discussion around his brother died of overdose. So he said, I have this. I'm lucky that I have all these followers and something out of it. It cannot be just like posting a picture of me riding away. Has to be. And so if people start to use it in the right way, I agree with you. It's it's so powerful, right?
It really is. And I like to do the opposite. I like to post very, very little of me surfing, so that when people actually surf with me in real life, they're like, oh, he's okay. They're not like, oh, hey, this guy. If I posted video, people would be like, you need to stop posting videos because there's nothing to see here but a very awful surfer, But I love it. I still love it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter really how you surf. Yeah, again, it matters, as you said at the beginning of the interview, if you are very respectful, that all that matters, right?
I agree. Yeah. And the experience, it's different for everybody at different walks of life and different stages. And what makes some guy stoked doesn't make another one stoked. Like there's some people that go ride a big longboard out at 1 foot and they're so happy and they're overjoyed. And then there's other guys that only love giant beach breaks, where they're about to die. And that's what they dig. So surfing's all over the map when it comes to personal experience.
You prefer riding shortboard or longboard yourself?
This is where I'm going to lift up the veil. I was never a mid-length rider ever. I ride not shortboards. I ride fish and mini Simmons type boards in the 5'4" to 5'10" range. That's the majority of boards that I ride, just because I like that style of surfing and I like the wide point forward. I'm more front footed and I just like to go fast. That's my favorite thing to do. I've been dodging the barrel successfully for 25 years and I hope I can dodge the barrel for another 25 years.
I hope you can do that, of course. And listening some maybe other podcasts that you have done, interviews. And one thing that really interested me is the fact that you are promoting good values, right? You're trying to promote good values. Do you think you are able to reach that goal?
I hope so. Sometimes I just feel like something needs to be said in the moment, and it may be because of the day I had, or there's something going on in our world. And I just think good values for me. When I was growing up, there's a guy from the United States named Mr. Rogers, and he was a children's TV show host, and he was just a really nice guy and lived a really great life. And he's kind of an American icon, and his entire thing was promoting good values. So I always kind of had in the back of my head, I would like to be a more kind of off color, or maybe a little bit says some crazy stuff sometimes, but Mr. Rogers-ish guy that at the end of the day, you're still promoting good values, because again, life is short. And if you're not trying to make this place better while you're here, I personally think you're blowing it at life. you should be trying to make the world a little bit better place before you leave. So if I can do that on some silly tiny thing like Instagram, I'm going to do it.
Definitely. And we go back to using the audience in the best way. And definitely the one that follow you and support you, not the one that are just like against you just because they are in Instagram and they just want to drop like bad words or what. So that's the goal, I think, that you are achieving in effect. But I wanted to hear from you. What are you working on? Like, are you working on something particular these days?
Yeah, I'm so it's funny, like the doors that have opened from doing Instagram have just been really, really good for me. I think part of it is people already know what type of person they're going to meet before they meet you, and they feel like they know you. So you just sort of like, you get comfortable with people very quickly because they've been watching these videos. So meeting businessmen, people in the surf industry, that's been just incredible. And, you talk about stuff, you come up with ideas, and I'm blessed to be able to work for a few companies and make videos, and it's just the greatest thing ever. I love it. I can't even believe it's real. Yeah, I work for a company called Pure Prescriptions in New Greens that I work for. I work for an amazing, amazing toy here in the United States called Bug Assault, which is the original salt gun for, shooting flies with salt. It's super fun. It's rad. Yeah, Pit Vipers, these sunglasses I'm wearing when I'm talking on this podcast. I get to do stuff for them, make funny videos, Protect, Sunblock. And they also do incredible supplements. Yeah. And then just people have been really kind and generous to me, way more than I feel like I deserve. And I could go on and on. That's one of the neatest things, is meeting really like-minded, cool people. That's a huge positive about social media.
Actually, it's karma, good things bring good things. I believe in that. And
I think there's something to that. The longer I live, the more I really see that. I really, really see that. And then the best kind of people to be around are just those mellow, not high, not low, fun, don't take life too seriously. They're the best people because there's no drama. Like, it's great.
Definitely. And but so you're still keeping your everyday work as a paramedic, right?
Yeah, I have a paramedic license that I've been working on and off for the past 10 years as a medic. And that's just something that's like being a mechanic, having this skill, a way to make money. And it's what I like to do. I like people. So you're out a lot, you're driving in the ambulance. Every day is different, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's something I'm going to keep up with, keep my skills up. It also helps when you go on a surf trip. People are like, oh, there's a paramedic with us. And I'm always like, hey guys, I don't have any equipment. Basically, all I can do is walk up and be like, he's going to live, or he's got a 50-50 shot, or that's a dead body. That's pretty much the extent of what's going to happen if I'm on your surf trip, unless I have proper supplies, which now that I'm saying, maybe I should just bring some proper supplies and not be a scumbag,
Maybe, yeah, but anyway, I think it's also a way to give back to society.
Yeah, and I feel that everybody should do that because it does come back to you. And you don't have to be a paramedic, whether it's helping out at an old person's home, working with the homeless, going to a food bank, doing something. It will come back to you so much. It changes the way you are. When the second you shift attention to other people, it really opens up a beautiful world.
My cousin in Italy, you will hear about him in the podcast, is like a software engineer, but then in the night is an ambulance driver. And I always say, like, but you're not tired. They say, like, the reward that I have, going out and try to help people. He does it for free on top of that, right? And he's a volunteer. So he said the reward that I have is so amazing that no matter what, I thought it was always nice because he's giving, right? And then again.
Yeah. And that when you're seeing people that physically have lost their health, or you see really tragic things, it again reinforces that life is short. You realize very quickly that we're all on borrowed time. And then you kind of start to get a fire lit under you to go do the things you really want to do.
Totally. Okay, so we're gonna finish our interview with a short Q&A session. So please answer again the first thing that comes up to your mind. Okay. So the best surfboard that you ever ridden.
Man, it's got to be for a guy like me, the best surfboard I've ever ridden that kind of changed a lot of stuff for me. It's probably something called I don't want to answer this. I'm such a jerk right now. I don't want to answer it. This is like trying to choose your favorite child. The first thing that came to my head, I'm not going to say the brand or anything, but it's a fish shortboard hybrid mix. It's 5'10", 20 3/8 by 2 3/8 with a wide point forward and a winged pin tail. It's got 5 fin boxes, so you can run it as a quad, or you can run it as a twin with a trailer, or you could run it as a thruster, or you could just run it as a twin. And so if you're going to put one board, like I'm always looking for that, the Swiss Army knife, and to put in a bag and go surf anywhere, this thing would cover you from 2 foot to 10 foot, unless it was like sketch bomby hollow waves. You could be right there.
5'10".
5'10". I'm 6 feet tall. I'm 6 feet and I weigh about 180. If I'm in really good shape, I might weigh like low 170s or 170. So that board just has all the foam in the right spot. And if you're a volume person, a lot of controversy, it's almost 33 liters at 5'10".
For the volume lovers, right? Cool. Your favorite shaper.
Oh. Okay. So there are so many good shapers. And this Instagram thing has led to meeting like a lot of amazing shapers. And I geek out so hard on surfing and surfboards that it's like a dream come true. I love surfboards. Christensen is super sick. His boards work really, really well for me. The people at Channel Islands have been awesome to me. There's a bunch of local hand shapers, that are from that area, and they do an amazing job. Oh, dude.
Cool.
I can't. There's too many to name. There's so many guys. Rob Brown is one of the sickest dudes ever. He's shaped for a lot of different companies. He also does amazing lamination. The dude can do it all from start to finish. And 3 of my magic boards I've had from one guy, and his name's Rob Brown. And he's in Oceanside, San Clemente area. I think his Instagram handle is Sano Local, SANO LOCAL or something to that effect. And if you can get a board from this guy, you're psyched.
I'll have a look. Personal question, your favorite song?
That's a good question. Oh man, my favorite song. It's a song by Meatloaf, the fabulous American artist. And he once said, "I would do anything for love, but I won't do that." And that's my favorite song. It's what I do at karaoke. If you ever see me doing karaoke, it's going to be about 12 minutes long. And people might start throwing tomatoes at me, but I'm hanging in the pocket and I'm going to finish my song.
I Do Anything for Love is the Beauty and the Beast soundtrack.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's deep. I like that. You know that. That's awesome.
I remember MTV, when the video of the song was like released back in the 90s.
That's right, dude. Yeah, you're totally right. Because when you said the video, I remembered the video. And in the beginning, yeah, he's like got the mask on. And that's right. That video I don't know about that video. And then the lady comes in and starts her part. It got super weird. You're like, Meatloaf's not going to pull that chick. It didn't make sense.
But it has to stay in that era, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Your favorite surf spot?
Any left-hand point, because I'm a goofy foot, I'm going to be in heaven. So yeah, there's any left-hand point. And I mostly grew up surfing beach breaks. and I'm really tired of beach breaks. I like reef breaks and points. That's my new jam.
Okay, cool. If I didn't get you in trouble with the favorite shaper, I want to get you in trouble with the favorite surfer. So who's your favorite surfer?
So I have so many favorite surfers, but I categorize them like as shortboarder, longboarder, maybe even mid, like best all around, big wave, best small wave surfer. So I break them down into little categories. But my current favorite pro surfer is a guy named Damian Hobgood. And him and his brother CJ are amazing surfers from Florida that are just some of the gnarliest chargers. They were world tour, highest level caliber surfers in the world for a long time. And I've never met the guy. And I went on a surf trip with him last week, and he's just the best human ever. Dude was like one of the best dudes I've ever met. And so humble, so cool, so giving, like the entire trip, that he completely disarmed me. Like when I first met him, I was kind of starstruck. And then like an hour into talking, I'm like, oh dude, I can completely be myself around this guy. Like he's not gonna judge me. He's just a cool dude. So Damian Hobgood, the man, and a goofy foot. You
Fantastic. In effect, the two brothers are amazing, CJ and Damien. And as well, I saw the video of him being in the toilet taking a dump, and you were trying to interview him. Like
that was not planned. And he just said something from the bathroom, and I'm like, these are the kinds of things I wanted to see of the pro surfers I was into when I was a youngster. So yeah, hopefully I can get more like behind the scenes stuff with pro surfers, because there's just, you never know who they really are. Like I don't even know who these dudes are, and then you meet them and you're like, oh my gosh, it's not like, I don't know what I thought Hobgood was going to be like, but he was, I don't know, it wasn't what I thought. Like, I mean, if I had that dude's talent and had been in the spotlight as long as he had and had the accolades, I probably, I don't know, I would have been chewed up and spit out and be just a mangled mess. But that's me. But that's not him. He's just a humble dude,
It was a good surprise. So that's amazing, right? The last question is a little bit unusual, has nothing to do with surf. We want to know your best relationship advice.
My best relationship advice is this. When you meet someone that you're attracted to, be able to differentiate between the physical things that are happening, meaning like how much you're attracted to them physically, and the feeling of like, do you love them or not? And if you get the feeling where you're in love with somebody and it's more than just a sexual attraction, you need to step back and think about the steps you're going to take, in the beginning. If you really are like, whoa, because I think that nature's way of telling you that like this should be your partner, that's it right there. You're going to feel something different. And hopefully, here's the tough part. Sometimes both people don't feel it. It may just be one person for the other person. But if both have that same feeling, my relationship advice is follow that. And that's probably the person you're going to make babies with and raise kids together with. And it's real hard, especially when you're younger, to differentiate between lust and love. But go for love, don't go for lust. That's my advice.
Definitely, I totally agree with you. It's like it's something that you feel inside so powerful, right? And also guarantees longevity to the couple.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and then though, if you have similar hobbies, like my wife surfs, and I've been married almost 13 years, and she totally understands the surf addiction. And that makes my life so much better because she gets it. She wants to be out surfing too. So we have mutual love for basically the thing we love most. We both love the same activity.
Okay.
As much as each other. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Jonathan, for being with me on the show today. And I look forward to talk to you very soon.
Stoked. Thank you so much for having me. That was so rad. Appreciate it, my friend.
Thank you. Ciao. Have a nice day.
Hi, it's me again. I hope you enjoyed our today's episode. If you want to know more about us, please follow www.thetempleofsurf.com and all our social media. Mahalo!